Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Eleni Summershields. I am the Chief Operating Officer here at Wise Agent, and I have the fabulous Sarah Webb, our Marketing Manager here at Wise Agent as well. And the other fabulous Sarah Elfering with Cole Information. She's the Brand Manager there. So welcome, Sarah's. Sarah, do you want to start off by telling us a little bit about what you do at Cole and tell us a little bit about what Cole does?
Yeah, so I am the brand content manager over at Cole. So Cole Information, we're a prospecting platform that helps you find more leads. So we have a product for real estate agents, Cole Realty Resource. And the idea with Cole is you are in charge of the leads you want to find. We're different from other prospecting platforms is we let you put in the address and you choose the leads and the contact information you want to receive. So you're not getting that same generic list as the other agents in your area. You're in charge of those leads and prospects.
I'm on mute. Awesome. That's so great. Thank you for that. So yeah, Cole, and we've been integrated. Wise Agent and Cole have been integrated for, gosh, I don't know how many years. I've been with the company almost 10. So I would say at least 10.
Yeah.
I think is when we started off the integration around that time. So yeah, that's amazing. And you guys do a lot of, you guys have been around for quite some time.
70 years, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Long time.
Yeah, great, wonderful. And I know when we started this webinar, we had people registering. We got a lot of questions from all of you. So we're going to go through some of those. But before we begin with some of those, and I'll kind of sporadically intermix some of those questions as you're showing what Cole does, Sarah.
Sure.
If you all have questions out there, please feel free to post them in the Q&A section or in the chat. Sarah Webb and myself will be monitoring that as well. So I see Jacqueline is cold in the South Pole here in KC, Missouri. That's hilarious, Jacqueline. So
it's all
so yeah, so if you guys want to ask any questions, and of course this webinar is being recorded, so you'll be getting a copy of that in your inbox later on today, and it will also be available on our community. So if you've not joined our Facebook community, please do so, because you'll see all of our webinars on there, as well as other informative things for you as well. So all right, well, Sarah, I'm going to let you kick this off and share your screen and kind of show us how our integration works and how everyone would start using Cole to gather contacts and leads.
Yeah, sure thing. I just want to make sure everybody sees my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you log into Wise Agent, Cole integration is right here. So you'll just go ahead and click on that. And this will take you straight to our platform. It just takes a second to load. So with the Wise Agent integration, we have two search options that are part of the integration. We have the neighbor search and the prospect IQ tab. They are both very similar. The neighbor search will only pull landlines, and if you're interested in the cell phones, you're going to do the prospect IQ tab. I recommend doing all of the searches in the prospect IQ tab because you get cell phones, landlines, email addresses, and the physical address of the people. So that's really good, and it just gives you a ton of data that is super useful. So to do the prospect IQ search, you have two options. You can do it by zip code or by neighborhood. I'm just going to do it by zip code right now, just so we can get a general idea of how it works. So you just type in your zip code. Less is always more. So the less information you put into our database, the more you're going to get back in return. So I just entered a zip code 68130. Then you have the options down here for confirmed homeowner. So that will make sure you get the right decision makers. You can do the head of household. So you're talking to that head of the household. And then down here, you're going to select what type of list you want to create. I recommend doing a list of all records, so then you get those cell phones, emails, addresses, all that great stuff. And then you're just going to hit search.
And so just to clarify this for everyone that just maybe joining us, so Sarah is showing us Colte Realty resource. So this is how you would start probably, by gathering some contacts or farming your, your neighborhood or a particular zip code.
So if you have a ton of houses that recently sold in a zip code, you can do it that way. It's just a really great resource to start building a list for your farm.
Yeah.
So you can see here, just by typing in a zip code, we got back 5,897 records.
Yeah.
And if you scroll down, I unfortunately can't show you all this due to consumer privacy, but you'll have the last name, first name, the house number, street name, city, zip code, phone number, cell phone, email address. Now, keep in mind, not all of these fields will be full because we don't have the data on everybody, but a majority of them will be. I know a lot of people have questions about the DNC. So what's really cool for our platform is if you have a SAN number and you put that in with Coal Realty Resource, we will tell you who's on the DNC and who is not, so you know who to call as well.
Right. And
So,
just to let everyone know what DNC stands for, that's the do not call registry, right? That's what you're talking about there.
yeah. And the SAN number is what you will register with the DNC. So then you have that number to be able to access those numbers as well. So then once you see all the data, you will be able to download all records, current pages, or pages. With the Wise Agent integration, what's really nice is you can skip all of that and automatically download into Wise Agent. So then you can follow up on those leads through Wise Agent. So then you would just do that and then you would hit download and you would put in your Wise Agent information there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could add your source in there. That's great because then once those come into your CRM, and you could either download those to your computer as well, if you're going to be uploading those into a Facebook audience, and we'll talk about that in a minute here. But I know there's a couple of questions. Can you explain the registering of the DNS list? Oh, the DNC list again, please, is what they're asking for. So is that something that you guys would be able to show where, like, could you show just briefly where they would go to see who's on the do not call list?
So registering for the DNC, that is through a government website.
Oh, okay, so it's not integrated within Cole.
No, it's not integrated within Cole. So you would go to a government website, and when you do sign up for Cole, our customer service team can walk you through how to do that.
Isn't there, correct me if I'm mistaken, but is on the neighborhood search, doesn't it notify you, or doesn't it say in the list on the neighborhood
So
if they are in the do not call, just not on the prospect?
Neighborhood or the prospect IQ tab, it will say DNC, and if that's green, then you are okay to call them. If it doesn't say that, then we don't recommend calling them, but the choice is ultimately up to you.
Okay, so it is also on the prospect IQ.
It'll say it on both of them.
Okay, nice. And now does Cole work in Canada? Does it work with Canadian zip codes?
We don't work with in Canada, no.
Okay. Yeah, so for all those Canadians out there, sorry, hopefully you guys still get some information here, but yeah. And so now we've gotten this list. We've either downloaded it or even uploaded it into Wise Agent. The first thing we'll talk about, and we'll bring in Sarah Webb on this conversation, this portion of it. But Sarah, so now they've got this list of 5,800 contacts. What's the next step? How do they go to how do they get it uploaded into Facebook or whatever it is that they their Facebook audience?
Yeah, so for Facebook, you're gonna select this CSV format, and then you will hit download and you can save it to your desktop and title it whatever neighborhood is you're prospecting for. So then you can put that list up into Facebook through Ads Manager. So then you would hit download and it will be in your downloads, and then you can save it to your desktop to find easily.
Nice. And so then Sarah Webb, maybe you can take it from there. What's the next step they would do?
Yeah, so once you have that file, you would want to go to manager, and I actually don't have one pulled up right now, but you would go to just audiences and it'll give you a prompt to pull to upload a customer list, which is exactly what we just got from Cole. You'll want to name that as descriptively as possible, because I'm assuming, Sarah, that people will be pulling multiple lists.
Yes.
For multiple. So you'll want to be as descriptive as possible, so you know exactly who your audience is in Facebook, because it won't give you actual information when they match it to people's Facebook profiles. You won't be able to see a lot of that in Facebook. So, and what's great about Cole is whenever you do upload these lists, they're giving you a lot of data points. I don't know exactly how many. I know it's like a big number, but the more information you have that you're able to give to Facebook, it's going to help you match that really well, so that you are finding these people. And so, sorry, Eleni, I think you're muted.
Sorry about that. Someone was telling me the other day that like if anyone talks while they're on mute, they have to put like $5 in like a jar for, so we might have to start that in the office. But yeah, so Sarah, can you tell us how many data points does Cole provide everyone with on the neighbors search or the prospect IQ?
In the prospect IQ, you will get more because you will have the premium data such as the emails. So it's all the same basic information in either tab. It's just whether you want to get those cell phones and emails. So in the neighbor search, you will get the landlines and the physical address. In the prospect IQ search, you'll get landlines, cell phones, and the physical address and the email. So it's just a few different data points. You can get super specific within Cole with the advanced options we have as well. So if you want to target by how long somebody's lived in their house, you have those options by age, lender type, etc. So you can get super specific or you can leave it as generic as you want, depending on the audience you like.
Okay. And like what Sarah Webb was saying, when you have all these data points, and you upload those to Facebook audience. So if you're currently using Facebook audience, this would be something for maybe more advanced, doing like these custom audience. Wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you both say you both are doing brand management and marketing? So I would think that this is maybe a more advanced thing where you upload a list. And you can make a lookalike audience and whatnot, right? Sarah, do you want to talk about that and what that would entail? And
yeah, so definitely once you upload this list, you always have the option to make lookalikes. And a best practice for that is if you want them to be as close to that audience that you made really specific in Cole as possible, you want to keep it at that 1%, because it will give you options on like how different you want this audience to be. So I would say a best practice is always to keep it at 1%. And that's going to give you, Facebook's going to use all of their algorithms and all the information they gather from people to really give you a very similar audience. So if you are running these audiences and it's working well for you when you are running these ads, it's always a good practice to make a lookalike of that.
okay, awesome. Yeah, and that and that's something that is something for more advanced. So where it's at, someone is asking, where do you find the audiences in Facebook? That would be through your Facebook manager, your ads manager page. And so Sarah, can you show that? Sarah Webb, maybe you can.
Let me try to pull it up. I don't have it up right now, but if you guys want to keep going, I'll let you know.
Okay, perfect. And I know, Sarah, with getting this list, and you can bring it into Wise Agent, and now, or you could even download it onto your computer as a CSV and upload it into Facebook and create this audience. And we'll see that in a few minutes from Sarah Webb. But once you get it into Wise Agent, this is really, I mean, that one click, that integration, it's just one step of just getting that into the CRM. And that's something I can even share my screen on when that does come up into your CRM. Let me share my screen. here so everyone can see. Once that comes in, now you can do all these different things with those contacts. So of course, you'll go into your contact list from Wise Agents, and you can pull from that specific source. So you can, find the source, whatever you named it. And then you can come in here and, just make sure that you could either reach out to them if you do use that Prospect IQ, you'll have a phone number, so you could even text a whole group of people, which would be great and simple and easy to do. And so just setting that up is really easy through Wise Agent. And so now you can have this whole list of people, about if you're bringing over 5,300 contacts. Do you know, Sarah, what the average is of like having cell phone numbers? What's the percentage?
It really just depends on the area. I can't guarantee a specific percentage. So, yeah, sorry. I would say it's anywhere roughly about 70 to 75%.
Okay, so that's that's still a really good number. I was gonna even say, even if it's half, it's still a really good number. If you get, 5,000 contacts and about 2,500 of them have a cell phone number, you wanna send them a text. Sending them a text, just kind of, just introducing yourself and asking if they're interested in selling. And then of course, putting them on a drip campaign is something as well that you can be doing directly from Wise Agents. So you can just say add to a marketing program, and now you can set them up on a drip campaign. You can set them up on a, campaign of some sort. Maybe something newly met, or you can create your own or use one of our other ones. I don't have a full list of all of our programs here, but you can definitely create a drip campaign for them to start just reaching out to them. So that's, I know we're getting in a lot of questions here. Sarah Webb, are you ready to share your screen?
No.
Oh, okay. I couldn't tell with your eyes if you were staring at me or just staring at your screen.
Okay, I can.
I'm sorry?
I was waiting for it to load, but I can now.
Okay. Oh, perfect. I just stopped sharing mine. So there you go.
Thank you, into it. All right. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. So this is what your ad account's going to look like. This is mine. I don't run ads from this account, so there's nothing in here. But whenever you do have your list from Cole, you're going to want to go just right here to Business Tools and click on Audiences. And this will bring you over here, and where you can create a custom audience. That's what you're going to want to do before you create that lookalike from that custom. So what we're getting from Cole is this customer list right here. It's going to ask you for your source. There are some other sources you can build from here, but this is specifically what we're talking about right now. You'll hit next. So mine's not set up, which is why I wasn't.
Oh, prepared. I'm sorry, Sarah. But
Yeah.
But then there'd be a few other options here that you'd be able to do. But this is really, and I mean, really this portion of it is kind of for those people that have that business page, the business ad manager, and you're already running existing ads. This is just another way of like growing your database and how you would, capture this audience from farming through Cole, and then uploading them there is what you would basically do, and following all those steps.
Yeah, absolutely. And then whenever you are going through the ads manager and creating an ad, it will ask you if you want to pull from, a customer list, your lookalikes, and you just need to make sure you're staying on top of those naming conventions so you know exactly what you're pulling. Because we sometimes are guilty of it where I'm like, I name it something so generic and I'm like, well, when? And then I have to go in and see when I uploaded it and what it was. So that's definitely something I can't recommend enough.
Yeah, naming conventions are huge. I mean, and that's, I come from the development side of the world and technology. When you're writing code, you need to have good naming conventions, but even just in general, in organization, naming conventions are huge when you're categorizing, sourcing, doing anything. Yeah. Sarah, did you have something else to add? Sarah E, this is going to be confusing for everyone, including myself. I'm talking to two different Sarahs. So I'm like, Sarah E, I saw you trying to say something, so I didn't want to cut you off.
No, I mean, I think everything you guys are really bringing up, it's all about just really we tell our customers it's about being hyper local. So with all this information, you can do so many things, drip campaigns, text messages, Facebook, flyers. So it's just all about creating that awareness for your brand. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That you bring up a good point. Just, having a monthly newsletter that you could send them, just starting off like what they can do in their neighborhood or whatnot. I mean, you could even, so you mentioned that you can look up how many years they've lived in their home. So,
to pick an older neighborhood and say you want everybody who's lived in their home for 7 years, because people move about every 5 to 7 years. You could specifically target people who've lived in their home 5 years or more. So the possibilities for this data is endless, and there's just so much out there. So
yeah, for sure. I know we're getting a ton of questions, and we had some questions here. One of them is, we asked a question. I asked the question about what the percentages of the mobile numbers. What's the percentage of pulling in email addresses?
I would say the email addresses are similar. Like I said, it really just depends on the area that you're looking for. So it's hard to give a specific number, but I would say they're very similar.
And so do you also pull in subdivisions and
No, you either can search by street name or by zip code.
okay,
It won't tell you specifically if they live in a subdivision or not.
okay, nice. And so and then those phone calls, so people are asking about, if they are on the do not call list, what happens with those other phone numbers? Is it all their phone numbers that are like untouchable that they shouldn't be calling?
So on Cole, it'll say like landline, their phone number, and then it will say next to it DNC, and then it will say cell phone, and if they're on the DNC, so you know which numbers are on there. And
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, nice. And now, does that include texting, that they wouldn't be able to text them?
I am actually not sure about the texting part.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I don't think that does include the texting, because that would be something, but that's the nice thing about Wise Agent. If they do get a text and then they reply stop or unsubscribe, then we'll just stop sending them. We won't even let you send it out there to them. So we try to handle all of those things for our members using Wise Agent, not just with the texting, but also with the emails. So we handle all the unsubscribes, any bounced emails or whatnot. And so another question is, people are asking is, so how would they be able to market to them? What should they be saying once they get this list? I mean, we talked a little bit about sending out a newsletter, but is there specific, like, what's the first text message going to be? Or maybe what's the first email message going to be like? I don't know who wants to take that first. Which Sarah wants to take it first? So I'll give it.
I can take it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess that will completely depend on what kind of ad you're running. If you're saying, like I sold this house in your area, and do you want to see what your home's worth right now? I can give you a home valuation. So that's something that we have landing page templates for that. That would be a good maybe first email where you can even just send that out ahead of time. You can also do that with a Facebook ad. So if you did want to, going back to Facebook, if you did want to say, run that sort of ad to this list, that would be a really easy thing to do. I can show my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, I will show you guys.
I don't know about you all, but I love it when people show their screens, because then that's more interactive. I feel like I can see more.
So
let us know.
We'll just start from here, which is what everyone sees when they log into Wise Agent. So you'd want to go to this marketing dropdown and click on landing pages. That will take you to our landing page wizard. And if you guys don't know, not familiar with Wise Agent, we do have landing page builder in the system where you can we have these templates in here where you can make these single pages. So this first one here is a home valuation, and you can hit preview to see what it looks like. So it's like this, but when you're going in to edit it, it's just very simple. You can change any of this form information and this button and everything. You can change the background, make it completely customizable to your brand. But it really should just stay this simple, where it's just, you want more information, and they're only filling out this form. They're not doing anything else on this page. So I guess what the question was what would that first message be? So if you want to get them to this page, it would, you would say something similar to, I just sold this house in your area and it sold for this much. Like, is it time to sell? Like, do you want to see what you could maybe get for your house. So that would be what I would say, but better.
Yeah.
Thought out.
Yeah.
But so once they enter in this information, they're going to come right into the CRM so that, and then you can set up categories for that with our lead rules. But I'm going to backtrack a little bit. So whenever you do make this page and you're ready to set it out as a Facebook ad, you want to come to your list here, and we will give you always these links to share so that you can put this into your Facebook ad, so that this is the destination they're going to when they click on your ad and they want more information. So you can just copy it, and then I'll pull up, I don't anymore have my, you would just post it into the URL section into when you're making your Facebook ad, so that they're coming here. And then you would also be able to, in this editor, set up your response. So you can have this say anything that goes along with the flow of the funnel of your ads. So this would just be like, thanks for reaching out. I'm going to reach out to you with more information. Or if you set it up to where they're automatically getting, CMA or something, you would be able to say like, hey, check your inbox right now. I sent it immediately. And we do have that as an option for you in the CRM. So that you can set that up, that automation up, so that you're already converting. Did you have a question, Eleni?
No, I was going to say, no, this was really good, because that's, I think, something that a lot of people, are trying to start doing or are doing, and using a landing page, with your ads. So you do have to have, when you're running your Facebook ads, you do need to have a landing page for them. And so for them to go to fill out their contact information, you can use the Facebook, the lead ad page that they have. And we do have a direct integration for that, and you don't have to pay for anything, for like Zapier or any other third party to integrate. We have a direct integration. So it would just be the additional cost of running the ad. And then all those leads can come into Wise Agents just directly through our lead rules that Sarah's showing right now.
So I brought this would be your sort of your next step before you set it up, for sure, but this would be how you dictate what happens when people do come in from that landing page, when you're serving them these ads, from this list from Cole. So this is our lead rules. You would add your lead rule here, and you would assign it to the same source that you made that landing page with. So maybe it would be like a home valuation, Facebook, just like that. But you have to make sure that it's the source. But we have a lot of training on this. You don't have to worry if you get stuck. So you can automatically add them to a drip campaign. So even though you should be following up right away, especially if you don't have this automation set up where it's sending them something right away and you want to personally reach out to them, you definitely still want to make sure you have this in place so that you are following up with them over time. And then you can add them to your call list. So, as soon as they come in, when you log into your CRM, you'll see them right on your dashboard. So, you need to follow up with them. And the best part, which I know Sarah was saying, you want to make sure when you're pulling these super local things, you can serve them very personal ads. This is how you can find those people in the CRM, is just like adding them to categories. And you want to add them to as many categories as you can, because that's going to make your marketing so much more personal and so much more effective. So the email response you can set up, and it's an automated email that goes out as soon as they enter in their information on this landing page. So you can see here we do have include cloud CMA. So that would be like a great funnel for that. That's another one of our integrated partners, and you can have that even set up on a subscription so that they're getting it, more than just once. But if you did, obviously you don't have to do that. You can just have like an email here that says, I'm going to be in touch with you shortly. I have your information. And then if you did that, the most important thing to do would be this notifications tab, so you know exactly when a lead's coming in, so you can follow up. It really depends on what you want to do. We have a lot of options.
That's awesome. That's a lot of great information there, Sarah. And I know we got so many questions. I know you have more. We have so many questions in here. I'm like, whoa. There's a couple of things that someone was asking about. Was, the landing pages through Wise Agent, is it just one landing page that you can have at one particular time?
Do you want me to answer?
Yeah.
So no, we do give you one for free. It comes with your $29 subscription, and you can. It's not like, it doesn't work where you just have the one. You can make as many as you want. And as long as you just have one of these turned on at a time, you don't ever have to pay for more. And then after that, they're just $5 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$5.
So you can have a lot, and it's, if you have multiple ads running, obviously you're going to want more than one. But I know that a lot of our members get away with, if they don't have like a lot of overlapping listings, they can get away with, not paying for another one, or just paying for like a couple. And it really doesn't, it's worth that small, investment to have these going, because I know that with landing pages, they can get pricey when you're, if you're just buying that as a separate service.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people are asking that's one of our so what is the cost for the data from Cole?
Yeah.
So Sarah, can you talk a little bit about cost and what that would be? And
I'm gonna share this. We have a landing page specifically for a Wise Agent that I'll share in the chat box as
Yeah.
well. Everybody.
If you want me to share my screen, I can show everyone how to get to it from our marketplace.
Yeah, that'd be great too.
That would be really good too. Thanks, Sarah.
All right. So if you're in your Wise Agent account, you are a Wise Agent member. You would just want to go right here to Tools and then Marketplace. And my internet's not sure. Okay, there we go. And our friends at Cole are right here. So I can pull this up. You just hit that Learn More button.
Yeah, so this is our landing page for Wise Agent. As it's loading, if you can obviously learn more about Cole, we have a short video, and then as you scroll through, we have 2 subscription options for all Wise Agent users. We're offering $200 off our Pro subscription, which is our annual subscription, so you don't have to have uninterrupted prospecting. So for 1 year, you can get $200 off the $9.95 price with code Wise Agent, and you can click the Get Started to Buy online, or you can talk to our sales team. They're really, really awesome. If you're unsure about the year commitment, we do offer an annual subscription, a monthly, as well. That's really good if you just want to kind of start dipping your toes into it and seeing what Cole is all about. So that is how you would get started with Cole.
Awesome. That's awesome. And so there's a lot of questions here. Yeah. So I'm going to go through a couple of them here. How does one comply with the Fair Housing Act that they have through Facebook? I think that's more of a Facebook thing. And I think that's like Facebook already handles that. So if you create an ad and it might be rejected, there's certain audiences that you cannot specifically target, and certain qualities of those audiences that you cannot target. So there's certain cohorts that are excluded from that, and Facebook will slap your hand really quick when you do make that mistake, right? And so we talked about lead generation and how to do that. So pulling the data in from Cole, that's just how you're going to be generating those leads and getting things in here in the landing pages. We talked a lot about that. And so how would you say that they could get more listings? So maybe Sarah from Cole, maybe you can answer that. Like what would their messaging be about getting that besides the home valuation on landing pages?
I know a lot of our customers, they will farm around because the housing market is so insane right now. It's so hot. They will do cold calling with these numbers that you get from Cole, and you can say, hello, I just sold this house. And the house sold for this much over asking price. Would you be interested in having a larger conversation about selling? Have you thought about it? So a lot of our customers are doing that. Cold calling can seem kind of daunting, especially when you don't know if what type of answer you're going to get. So a lot of people do cold calling. They will send emails. I mean, door knocking is not recommended right now. A lot of people will do door knocking when the time allows. That it's just endless. So it's a lot about getting that messaging out there. Hey, the housing market's hot right now. Have you thought about selling? And the houses in this neighborhood are selling this much over asking. A lot of people will do that.
Yeah. And then you can also send, if you upload or if you sync over that database from Cole into Wise Agent, you can also use that with our postcards. So you can do that as well. That's another great way of doing things. Snail mail is back.
Snail mail, postcards, Facebook, emails, calling. If you do all of that for somebody, they're going to remember your name. So when they're ready to list, you want to be that agent they think of. So
yeah, that's perfect. And now, does Cole capture data for commercial properties?
Unfortunately, we don't at this time. It's all residential.
Okay, it's all residential.
Yeah, and I see there's questions about trials. We don't have trials at this time, but and when you call in and talk with our sales team, they will be able to walk you through a little bit more in depth about the information that's available in your area.
Okay. And if they already have a Cole account, how can they integrate with Wise Agent? They can do that pretty easily, right?
Yeah, it's very easy. We have a customer team that can help you. So I'll put that number in here as well. So then they should be able to help you get your integration set up. Our team is available Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time as well. So our customer team is awesome. They'll answer any questions at all you have about the integration.
Awesome. And is there a way that Cole can capture information from rental communities?
When you do a search in Cole, I can share my screen real quick. So, you can target apartment and condos. So under the search, oh, I got logged out. Oops, hold on.
That happens. You gotta love live demos.
Yes. You can check if you want to target apartment renters, house renters, or condo owners. That is the most foul-proof way to do that. So you will be able to get rental information from there, but we don't necessarily have the absentee owners. So if you're looking to target people who rent out properties, you won't necessarily be able to get that information. But if you want to talk to apartment renters, you should be able to.
Okay. And this is something, I know some of these questions on cost is there a cost to integrate between Wise Agent and Cole? And there is no cost. So obviously you'd have to pay for your Wise Agent account and your Cole account. The integration is absolutely free. It is a native integration that we've built between the two companies. So you don't need to use a third party service for that. So that would be the only cost to you would be our services. And so if you have any questions on, specifically on your account, I know Sarah E, she posted the phone number for their support, and then I'll post, or maybe Sarah will post our phone number for support as well in our email. So we do have 24/7 support, and that would be something that we can help you through and help you go through all of that. And so we went through the signing up. So make sure that you're going through the marketplace and Wise Agent or that link that Sarah E linked to in the chat. And we'll send that out in the email as well when you get this recording. I know that's another big question that's been floating around here is this being recorded? Absolutely, this is recorded. We're also on Facebook Live in our community. So you can rewatch the replay there as well as you'll get it in your inbox later on today. So Sarah, are there any other tips that you have for members that are curious about using Cole, and is there anything else that you want to share with them on why they would use your service?
Yeah, Cole. It's just I think it's amazing, but just in general, it's just a really good way to generate leads. It's really difficult when you just using a generic lead provider, and there's nothing worse than calling that number and you're finding competing agents have already talked to them. You get that really defeating feeling. So by using Cole, you're really in charge of the leads you want to get the information for. We can't guarantee the agents are talking to them, but it's being able to say, hey, I sold house 1234 on Jane Doe Drive, and then you're getting the information for others in that neighborhood. So you're really able to build that personal touch that a generic lead generator is not able to provide you. So
Yeah, that's great. And we love Cole as well. You guys are pretty awesome. I've known I know a lot of the people over at Cole, and they're all great. It's
they've all been around for forever, people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so that's awesome. I know, and so if there's a broker out there, there's a question here. Let me put on my readers here that may have their brokerage and they want to buy leads for their team. That's something easily done, right?
Yeah, that can easily be done, and I do recommend contacting our sales team, which I can put that number in there as well. And we have an enterprise team that will work out pricing for how many seats you need and licenses as well. So they're really, really good about making sure that you're able to get the data you need for a large amount of teams. So.
Okay. And if you're maybe on a team, a 1 or 2 person team, and you want to share those leads, I mean, you can, as I see Ed's asking a question about getting those cold leads into their account and then sharing them out to outside team members, you absolutely, or even inside team members, you can absolutely do that within Wise Agent as well, very easily. So yeah, thanks for joining, Ed. It's good to see a familiar face on here, or name here. So yeah, and there's, you know, what their first step would be once they set up with Cole. What does that setup process look like?
Yeah, so once you set up with Cole, within a few hours, you're getting your contact, the login information. So you'll get an email that will have your login information and a quick video on how to get started. And then from there, our customer service team is always there to help you. Like I said, we have an awesome team. They'll answer any questions you have. They can walk you through anything. They're just amazing. So it's very easy to get started.
Awesome, awesome. So they can start farming before the end of the day today if they sign up right now. Okay,
Yeah,
that's great.
Before that, yes.
That's great. And now, Sarah Webb, did you have something that you wanted to add? Did you want to?
No, I was just reading though that question from Arthur about if I have a team and multiple agents targeting different areas, can I route independent landing page data to independent agents? And yeah, so we actually even have that functionality within Wise Agent where when I was showing those lead rules earlier, there is distribution where you can just put particular leads in a certain area or anything like that to assign it to certain agents. Yeah, we have a lot of different options for that.
Yes. Exactly. And so, you know, that's something that's definitely doable. And so if you have questions on how to set that up or set up your team, feel free to reach out to our support staff. You can email or call us. We're always available. And so I know with Cole, you guys have been around for many years. So your data, where is that? That's just coming from, like, you guys are sourcing that from multiple sources.
Yeah, we get those from multiple sources, and our data is updated every 30 days. So if you're farming the same area over and over, I do recommend going in every 30 days and making sure that information is still the same, because it could always be changing. So
yeah, because you guys are, you know, selling people's houses and bringing in new people in there. So that's
information you can get.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you guys update that every 30 days, and that's a pretty good cycle of new data coming in, because there's a lot of data points.
Always changing. So
yeah. And so if you can share your screen again on the searching, could you show the neighbor search and how that differs a little bit from the prospect IQ search? And really, I know the difference was really just on the prospect IQ, you can get a cell phone and an email. Is there a difference in cost between having access to prospect IQ and neighbor search?
No, with the integration with Wise Agent, you will get both.
Okay.
So, awesome. And they're great sources for both of them. It is really just the same. The only difference is you would start with the street name. I recommend always leaving the house number and the direction empty so you can get the most data back. So we could just say Poppleton, for example, and you can obviously pick the state. And then I would say I want to talk to all the confirmed homeowners, and you can have the list of all records. And you would hit search. Let's see. And then below here, it brings up the data, and then you would just, oops, as I'm scrolling too much, select the one you want, and then you will build your list off of there. So then you can build off of radius, you can get that whole street, you can do a map search and plot points around a map, kind of similar to Google Maps. So it's just, it's all endless, so.
Yeah, and so when they do when they get that street, so that's just the one street, that's gotta be a pretty big street in Nebraska there. Look like a lot of details.
Yes.
Yeah, and so what would you suggest that they would, do with that list? What would that be?
Yeah, so say for example, you're looking for 1, 2, 3, 4 Poppleton. Sometimes we don't have that specific house in there. We might have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. So you would pick a house very similar to that, and then I recommend building out a radius. So say you want every house within a half a mile of that house. So then you're able to have a larger amount of data, and then it's whatever you want to do with it. I recommend following up multiple times with an email, you're following up with a phone call, you're following up with a Facebook ad. So it's everything you can do within Wise Agent as well. So
Nice, nice. Yeah, and that's always good to even have into the database. I know that we also get birth dates on some of these searches, right?
yep, you can, under the advanced options, I can show that as well real quick.
Yeah, because that's always nice to have somebody's birthday, and being able to send them either an email, a postcard, something. So you can even do this with maybe if you already like maybe live on that street and you want to, get your neighbors to sell with you, right?
Options are right here, and then you're able to pick the age, you can pick gender, you can pick here's birth date. So I mean, it's just a ton of information that is here, and then you would just pick it, click, and then hit submit, and then it appears right here for you. So then age appeared, so then you could do birth date as well if you would like.
Nice. And can you show how they would draw a custom boundary map?
Yeah, so let's go back real quick. So I would do that.
So this is through the Prospect IQ, and you'd still,
IQ or the neighborhood.
okay, you can do it from either one.
I believe. Let's see, sometimes. Okay. So this is just your starting point. You would click map, and then this is the map. Your point is right here, you're starting with. So then you have to plot at least 3 points. You can plot more than that. So then I would select freeform plotting. And then here's a point, and then this purple square starts appearing. So then this will bring up any data we have within this radius you picked. And then you would just hit view available prospects. And then you can see within that point that I picked, I have 167 records of people that live in that area. So
nice. So hopefully, Pat, that answered your question. So yeah, I think we're running low on time here. But Sarah, did you have any other final, Sarah E? This is really, we gotta next time. You get, and I didn't really realize this. I mean, I was emailing them all week and for longer than that. Didn't realize it until we were just getting on. I'm like, wait a second, you guys screwed me here. What's happening? So Sarah, do you want just some parting words here before we start wrapping up here?
it's really just, you can't go wrong with the Cole and Wise agent integration, I really think it helps people, and being able just to get your name out there and start building contacts and talking to people, you get really a feel for also what the neighborhood is thinking and how they feel. And it's just really about having those conversations and building relationships that will really help you in the long run. So
Yeah,
it's just a really, really awesome tool to have at your fingertips.
for sure. And how about you, Sarah Webb? Anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, just the same. I know with Cole and even what she was showing there, their tools are a lot easier to navigate when it comes to targeting than Facebook sometimes, especially because, you know, it can be a little limiting or tedious. Like I know you can't exactly map how you were there on Cole with Facebook. You can kind of do some workarounds, but it can be a little difficult. So this is a great way, especially because we get a lot of questions for, you know, okay, I have all this content or I have these ads I want to send out, but like, who do I send them to? So this is like a great answer to that. And then how you're bringing in more people to your CRM. So
Yeah, that's wonderful. I appreciate both of you today.